Elijah Schaffer. Let's start the show. Well, our story today comes from Vigilant News. It explains what we were all thinking: search engine manipulation and the 2024 presidential election. In an age where information is at our fingertips, the integrity and partiality of search engines like Google and YouTube are critical. These platforms are the primary sources for millions seeking information on various topics, including political figures. However, a disturbing trend has emerged: a noticeable bias in the search engine results related to Vice Presidential President Kamala Harris. Now, this is no shocker to many of us. As we know, not only is YouTube and Google extremely biased in favor of the Democrat platform, literally deplatforming, demonetizing, which is a form of censorship, channels like my own, and the fact that Vigilant News, we don't even have a channel on YouTube because they won't allow our stories. So the right wing has a huge disadvantage, but it seems that there's manufactured shock and support for Kamala, even though she's one of the most unimpressive and unpopular presidential candidates in history. Even Ben Shapiro was noticing.
Exactly do her qualifications look like, other than, again, the sort of intersectional magic of Kamala Harris and the fact that Democrats have to manufacture enthusiasm for, I've never seen this much manufactured enthusiasm for anyone outside of maybe Taylor Swift's last album. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. It's so obvious. You cringe when you see it. But
exactly.
And that's the truth. You do cringe, but there's a method to the madness. It's not just about cringing. It's the reality of this is where we're at. This is the ethos of our country. This is the ethos of our nation, that we have social media companies are run by the same groups of people that run the media companies, and the media companies are run by the same people who influence our elections and our outside interests. And I'll let you do the research on that yourself. But what I can let you know is, ultimately speaking, there is something that we should be aware of, and here's what we have to say. A recent audit search of results on Google and YouTube revealed a pattern of bias. For example, a Google search for Kamala Harris negative news, July 2024, predominantly returned positive and neutral articles. These results highlighted her public speeches, campaign activities, and various initiatives, painting a consistently favorable image. Prominent sources like Politico, CNN, and official campaign websites dominated the top results, with headlines celebrating her achievements and public engagements. You can see here on the graph that the positive news was extemporaneously higher to neutral, almost no negative news at all, even though her track record on the border is insanely abysmal. Her track record on being visible in any serious situation is abysmal, but we're going to continue to astroturf her. Similarly, on YouTube, a search for Kamala Harris negative videos July 2024 displayed a plethora of supportive and neutral videos. The top results featured her speeches and public appearances in a positive light, with titles emphasizing her leadership and contributions. Videos from credible sources such as C-SPAN and official channels were predominantly displayed, while critical content was sparse and less visible. This is what you have: the bias in the search. You have positive headlines, neutral coverage, limited critical content. On the YouTube search, which of course is a search engine of Alphabet, sister company of Google, you have supportive videos, neutral videos, and few negative videos available. The algorithmic influence and media bias is also available as well. The bias in the search results can be attributed to a combination of algorithmic influence and media bias. Search engine prioritizes content based on user engagement, relevance, and perceived credibility. This often results in positive or neutral content being more predominantly featured, especially for high-profile figures like Kamala Harris. Additionally, media bias plays a role. Now we have algorithmic prioritization. This is where everyone is astroturf. This phrase that, they're artificially brought into the spotlight. Really, they can control what you think by just controlling what shows up on the front page of the newspaper. And you go, oh, Elijah, we don't even have newspapers anymore. That's irrelevant. You're just ridiculous. You're jealous. Well, I am jealous. Sometimes I would like it if I could lie and those lies would be honored and I didn't have to worry about seeking the truth. Yeah, would I be able to live with myself? No. But at least in the middle of all this, I could be really rich and not have any consequences for my actions. Seems like a lot of fun. And that's how they do it. There's also media partnerships, editorial guidelines, right? Deciding what AP News, if they use the right pronouns, how they respond, to like overtly angry Donald Trump and gleefully happy Kamala Harris. It's like the coordination that we need on the right, but we don't have because we're so individualistic. Now, obviously, as we talk a little more about this, I want to remind you to take control of your weight today. I, just moved across the world. I got a little unhealthy myself, so I'm like back on a diet and going back to the gym, but sometimes it's not enough. You see people taking all these new injectable drugs. They're expensive. They require needles, but they have results. What if I were to tell you that there's a way to get those same results without having to buy expensive medications and prescriptions? I'm talking about this new product from the doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition called Lean. Lean helps regulate blood sugar and appetite, the same things that these other injectable drugs do, but it doesn't require needles, and it works really well to the point to where I'm kind of nervous to sell it to you because, well, it's only for serious dieters who want to lose 10 pounds or more because it helps you lose a lot of weight quickly. If you're trying to lose a lot of weight fast and control your appetite, your blood sugar, and feel better today, get yourself a bottle at leanvnn.com, LEANVNN.com. Use my promo code VNN at checkout for 15% off plus free rush shipping. That's leanvnn.com. Get yourself a bottle today. Now, as I mentioned, that the implications of this are quite severe. The bias here, it says the bias of the search engine results has significant implications for public perception and the democratic process. By predominantly featuring positive or neutral content, search engines shape a favorable narrative around public figures, potentially influencing public opinion and electoral outcomes. This control over the narrative limits access to a balanced perspective, undermining the public's ability to make informed opinions, shaping public opinion. When users consistently encounter positive or neutral content about a public figure or political figure, it reinforces a favorable perception. It limits critical perspectives. And the conclusion is this: the bias in search engine results concerning Kamala Harris highlights a broader issue of information control and media influence in the digital age. As the primary gatekeepers of information, search engines have a responsibility to ensure impartiality and transparency, but they will not. Now, as I mentioned, the ridiculousness of this stuff is even Polymarket was explaining that Trump leads Kamala Harris in every swing state, yet you would go to the media and think that Trump is losing. Why is this that we can see that Polymarket, a sports betting site, comes out and says, well, the average user, the person, thinks that Kamala Harris is going to win? No, they don't. They think Trump's going to win. So what does that mean? Okay, that means that the media itself is going against what people are really thinking. That means the polls are biased. That means that people are being paid off. Because look, I'm going to trust this, right? I'm going to trust the individuals, the middle-class Americans putting their money where their mouth is and saying, I think that Trump is winning in every swing state. I'm going to keep tracking Polymarket's trends as we talk about this. Anyway, I'm Elijah Schaffer. Thank you so much again for watching Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.